let me ask about fundraising, because you raised a good amount of money pretty relatively quickly. And I think, Mike, you kind of led a lot of that.
Yep.
We just published actually on the Substack, the Feeding the Baby
I saw
excerpt.
Saw it go out.
Can you maybe talk about that process, and really more, I think that for a lot of first-time founders, when they go out to fundraise, they think they're the only ones that have any problems with fundraising. They say, "Oh, Dave, I talked to 10 people. They all said no, so I can't raise money." I'm like, well, it's going to take a lot more than that. It's going to take a lot more than that.
That's so cute. 10 people. That's a Tuesday.
Can you talk a little, and also maybe I want to talk about that. Let's start there.
And I even do this today. Like, you're always raising money. You're always kind of out there networking, talking to people with money. And we have a venture firm, right, that we've raised money. We don't raise money for private equity. Like, we buy companies as well. Dina, who runs one of our businesses, is here. And I don't look at it as I'm asking them for a favor. I look at it as a relationship built over time. And our best investor relationships, we provided value or built the relationship years in advance. And I'm thinking of people like Jules Maltz, who was an associate at IVP, who then became a partner, then became so rich he retired. They've done incredibly well. Jeff Richards at GGV. And a lot of investors never invested, but I'm still friends with them, right? Like Jeff at Flybridge and, David at Venrock, and people who we just became friends because we helped out. And so look at it as relationships. Look at it as, how can I help you? No matter how much money the investor has, they got issues, right? They have portfolio companies that need help. If you know AI, maybe you can help them think through how AI is going to impact their firm. If you have tickets to the Knicks, invite one, right, that you met at an event. If you have tickets to the Knicks, you probably don't need to raise money because they're so fucking expensive. But it's where I see it, and what happened, and it's a mentality. It's a founder's mentality. You're not asking for money. You're giving them the greatest opportunity to multiply their money, right? You gotta believe in your product so much that, like, every meeting you go into, you have to think that they're crazy not to do it. They still won't do it, most of them, but you have to believe in it so much. And if you don't, you just have to rethink the business.
But you're forgetting one of the biggest things that you did.
I'm forgetting a lot.
But he would write these epic board letters before every board meeting. And we were very intentional about board meetings. And he used to say that these board letters were really for him to think through the business, right? It wasn't like he wanted to have like a 10-page letter to the board, but it was his way of like organizing information every quarter, right? So, or every month when we did it. And he would then strip out anything that was confidential. And then he would send it to all the people that we hadn't raised money with yet, or hadn't, or said no. And then he would send that out, just say like, hey, I just want to keep in touch and, give you an insight into what's happening. And so those relationships were built, like when he's saying he built them over time, that's how he built them. And he would take them out to lunch, stop, I'm in the city, I'm stopping by, or he's going there to say hi, because he's building it so that there's excitement, or there's at least like brand awareness of who you are when you're going to raise.
And I think part of the benefit of doing that probably also is you're building the credibility, with the investors, that they see that you're executing, you're an operator, like you know what to care, what the right things to care about are.
Yeah, and it's like no one's a known quantity until you are. So like now it's relatively easy to raise money after you like return all this capital to investors, right? But I'm really talking about when I'm from the suburbs of DC. I knew no investors, went to Northwestern Journalism School, met no investors. So all these people we met over the years, and we got very lucky through our networking. Golf.com, we sold and then bought back, but we needed to get it funded. And so we hit the road and happened to meet a lawyer who loved to play golf, who set up a lunch with his friends at a country called Medina, which I'd never heard of, but they hosted the US Open like right after. And literally in a lunch, like this baby Jesus lawyer, like found our money. I was like, man, right? And that was so like, we would have, if that company went under, we were both in. She would have had to go back to the agency world. I guess I would have tried to be a journalist. I don't know. Maybe I would have started something else.
Maybe sales.
Maybe sales, but you get really, if you just keep going, your luck will happen. And it's not, you have to be patient. Like it's been 30 years and we're still building and hustling and everything. But every day, every week, every month, you have to do the right things. And that's really what the book's about. It's about these two things of like shoveling shit is like miserable, like being a founder. There's no worse way to spend your day. And it's awesome, right? Like, it's like, oh yeah, I'm miserable. Hey, you want to do anything else? No, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Right? Most other things that are miserable, you don't want. Like, I don't like sharks. So if I'm in the water with sharks, I don't really want to be there. But for some reason, we are able, as entrepreneurs that are alive here, we fall in love with this suffering
Yeah.
in a really weird way.